Hello, my creative friends, and welcome to another episode of The Daily Prompt. In this episode, I really want to give you sort of a power tip, a real sort of insight, a simple little tweak or hack or what have you that can have you making leaps and bounds forward in your progress as a writer. This comes about through looking at some of the postings on the forum in FAST Screenplay. When people go through the system, they're asked to record their experience with every step in the process, sort of like doing a daily diary where you record what insights you had or what big revelations you had, or if you have frustrations with a step, you record that, because if you struggle with something and you've recorded how you felt at the time, and then later on you realize that maybe your weakness is in, let's say, character development, and you look back at that character step and you realize, oh, I interpreted this a different way than I thought. I can see in what I captured how close or how far to the intention I was. Now I can see the discrepancy, and that enables me to have my own unique flash of inspiration, insight, and sort of awareness and awakening. Anyway, that's a little bit of a side note. I was looking at the forums, noticing something that a few different people were capturing, were recording about their journey, and they were getting sort of caught up and overthinking some of the steps themselves. It's a very sort of step-by-step process. You shouldn't really devote too much time to any of the steps as you're learning the process, so that you can really sort of see how the machinery works together. And some people were getting kind of stuck on not being able to do an exercise or a step to the letter of the step. They were getting frustrated. They're spending too much time on that and not feeling like they were solving it, even though the later steps are what help them solve it. So it's important to record their experience there. But it reminded me that one of the ideas that I can share with you, one of the maybe super big insights when it comes to writing, is that there are two little words, you probably know from the title itself, there are two little words that can really help you push forward in your writing efforts, and that is "for now." In other words, let's imagine that you have an idea for a story and you don't really have the story worked out. You don't really have the characters fleshed out, or you don't really have the hook, or you like the idea, but it's not really quite there yet. You can sit there and beat yourself, your head against a wall, and try to solve this problem and figure it out and spend hours, days, and weeks and months trying to figure out this one little problem or this one aspect of the problem. Or you can go, well, here's my solution for now, and keep moving forward. One of the great problems that we have as writers, one of the great fallacies of writing, one of the great fundamental societal human mistakes we make when we think of the idea of writing, is we imagine that a writer sits down and the ideas come out of their head and end up on the page, fully formed, beautifully designed, looking like this wonderful honey dripping prose, and it's just an extraordinary experience immediately. And if we can't achieve that when we sit down to write, there must be something wrong with us. If we can't nail this step or this exercise or this facet of writing, if we can't figure out our character, we must have some failing. If we can't figure out the dialogue, we must have some failing. The way writing works, the thing that I try to convey to you guys as much as possible, is that writing is a process. It's not an activity. It's not something you sit down to do. It's not that flash of inspiration and you sit down and you start typing the keys. That is an activity called typing. Writing itself, is a process, and the typing, the getting the idea onto the page in that immediate moment, is one little part of the process. It's the whole reason I call what I do FAST Screenplay, because FAST is an acronym for the process. You focus your idea into a story, you apply that story to the page, you strengthen those pages until they're solid, and then you tweak the words into an extraordinary reader experience. FAST is an acronym for the four-part writing process itself. If you focus, if you get yourself into that headspace where I have to get this right, I have to figure this out. Here's what you're really doing. You're trying to use your conscious focus, which is the weakest part of your creative self. You're trying to get that conscious focus to solve a problem. That's not where creativity comes from. Creativity comes from the juxtaposition of ideas. It comes from your memory and your imagination and your life experience and all the things that you want that's happening in your creative subconscious. And it comes to the fore. Your writing will come to you if you prepare and you plan and you design and you shape and you do the work and you keep moving forward. If you sit there and try to solve a problem, you are ultimately not going to solve that problem. Or if you do, it'll just take a very, very long time. If instead you say, here is my solution for now, and then you keep moving forward, what happens is that solution is not right. And there's going to be a part of your creative subconscious that nags at you that says that solution was not right. But if you keep moving forward and you focus on the next bit and the next bit and the next bit and the next bit, your creative subconscious is going to find a solution for you with all the new things you're learning, with all the new activities you're doing, with the various bits of writing that you're pushing forward on. If you keep moving forward, if you keep acquiring new skills, if you keep doing the next step and taking the next action, what happens is it's working on your creative subconscious. Somewhere down the road, that idea will pop into your brain, and that idea will be the solution. And you can go back and replace it and fix it and change it and improve it, correct it. Get the thing that you're trying desperately to do right now today. For now is perhaps your most valuable tool as a writer. If you are trying to create your story, if you are trying to create your characters or your subplots or your character relationships or the story world or the genre that you're writing in or something that you think a producer is going to be interested in, if you're trying to focus on solving those problems and you can't figure out a solution to those problems and you're banging your head against the wall, you're beating yourself up because I'm not good enough, I'm not talented, I'm not a writer at heart. Just pick an idea. Doesn't matter how good or how bad or how god-awful it is. Pick an idea and say, this is what it is for now. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep developing. If you're in FAST, I'm going to keep going to that next step. As you go to that next step, it starts working on your creative subconscious, and the solutions will come not from you trying to figure it out, but from you doing the whole process. That's where the solutions come from. So, as we lead into the week ahead, I want you to basically take this 2-word phrase and put it up somewhere. Just put "for now" up there somewhere. Always let yourself remember what you're writing today is, if it's not perfect and you don't love it and it's not exactly what you want it to be, it's what you have for now. It's how you keep moving forward and keep developing until you get ultimately to what you are trying to write. We don't spit it out instantaneously. We go through a 4-part process. And that 4-part process is the FAST, the planning, the writing, the rewriting, and the polishing. It's that 4-part process that's going to get us to where we want to go. The more you think about it has to be right now, the more stuck you'll be. Say, this is it for now. I'm moving forward. So this is this for now. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.